Hello, folks. This is Mr. Messerman with the Flipped Classroom Vodcast. Music of Waters number 12. I can analyze the pros and cons of alternative energy resources. As you can see, the Clark Fork has a lot of water in it, but there's more where that came from. And this is causing a bit of a dilemma for the Northwest Power Planning Council that runs our dams in the Northwest, because they're going to have too much water and too much hydropower. And they're going to have to tell the wind farms to shut down. It's kind of crazy, but that's how alternative energy goes sometimes, is we can never tell when we're going to have too much or too little. Let's think a little about traditional resources. In the way olden days, we used wood for just about anything. Wood is carbon neutral. A tree takes in CO2 when it's alive, and then it releases the CO2 when it rots or when you burn it to heat your house or cook your food. Humans did that for thousands and thousands of years. Also, wood is renewable in that it grows back in relatively short amounts of time. We also used animal power at some point in our history. And of course, we still do use wood and animal power in many parts of the world, which can be a problem in itself. Both of these are solar-based energies. Without the sun, they wouldn't be there, and they require the sun on really a day-to-day, year-to-year basis. Now, a couple of other traditional resources are coal and petroleum. Coal made from swamp plants buried and turned to rock. Petroleum made from marine organisms buried in sediments and cooked into oil. These are also solar-based, but on a very, very long term. They're stored sunshine and carbon that formed usually millions of years ago. What this means is that they are not carbon neutral. The carbon in them was stored so long ago that when we release it, we add to the carbon and we basically upset the carbon cycle. They're also non-renewable because they take so long to form. What about some alternatives? Now, these aren't necessarily new. Some of them are quite old, in fact. We've been using hydropower and windmills for centuries. And then sunlight is a little bit newer in its modern forms. Hydropower includes water wheels. We use those to grind grain and things. Dams, where we could store water and let it through. Wind is windmills. Solar is collectors for heat. And photovoltaics for electricity. Now let's take another look at these alternatives and a couple others. How about tides and wave power, all used to generate electricity? All of these alternative energy sources are renewable, non-polluting, except when you manufacture them, but over the long term they should be cleaner. But we must remember that no energy source is without its drawbacks. These alternative energy sources can be intermittent, like in the article I showed you above, and sometimes overabundant. They also have other drawbacks. Hydropower can block fish passage. Windmills can cause noise pollution or even kill birds. So as with everything, we must address and investigate the pros and cons. Thanks for watching.